Hello everyone! Today I want to chat with you about desire, and I also have something fun that we can do together. Hopefully it's helpful for you if you want. So we'll see how that goes. You know what desire is, right? Food, sleep, sex. It's literally endless. There's a lot of modern inventions of desire, like money, reputation, status, whatever you want to call it, and success, which can be a desire in so many different ways, right? But did you know there's actually two types of desire? So the reason I want to talk about it is because there is a lot of misunderstanding about the desire. By recognizing which type you fall under, you can achieve your goals a lot happier throughout this journey. Before we start talking about the two types of desire, to make it more fun and relatable to you, I want you to think about a desire you have right now. You can pause here if you need more time. And what do you desire right now? What do you want right now? Have one concrete example, because that will make this video more relatable when you listen to it. I want you to start thinking about that desire and feel what's your emotion associated with it. Is it a burning desire, or is it like, meh, whatever, I feel it's nice to have, or maybe it's somebody said I should have that. Whatever it is, and you can take some mental notes or write it down. Doesn't matter. It's really a chill exercise. We'll come back to it later after I talk about the different types of desire. Okay, if you are ready for the next question, I want you to picture that you have already achieved this desire, whatever it is. By the way, some people may not have a very concrete metric to even measure whether you achieve it or not. This is a topic for maybe some other time for goal setting, but it should be very concrete that you know exactly whether you achieve it or not. So that will make your actionable items easier to do, everything more concrete, and helps to achieve your goal. For example, if your desire is I want more money, then it should be how much and why and by when. What do you want the money for? Otherwise, why do you want more money, right? It needs to be used for something. And how do you feel about it when you achieve what you use the money for, right? Now write your emotions down or take a mental note how you feel about it when you achieve it. It could be the excitement. I want to tell the whole world. The last question is, now picture, say you failed in this case, and what do you feel about that? Write down your emotions. Do you feel, oh, I'm a total failure, or you feel, I have to achieve it, this is no way. Whatever it is, just have a sense of your emotions about the failure case. Okay, great. Now that you have your desire and how you feel about it, you can bank that, and we'll come back to it later. So don't get too carried away. Just start thinking about all the fun things you can do. If you want, you can pause the video and do that. But here I want to share two types of desire, and the reason is a lot of misunderstandings about it, especially during my meditation practice. And a lot of common beliefs, let's say, is like we should let go of our desire to achieve happiness. There's even some, famous formula that says happiness equals to reality minus expectation. Basically, there's a popular belief that says by minimizing our expectation and desires, we can become happier. There's a caveat to that, because expectation and desire can also be a good thing. It gives us motivation and it fuels us too, right? Sometimes when I really want something, and that's great, that's what gets you out of bed to take the actions, which is a great thing. But on the other hand, too much desire and it's endless, because we always want the next thing, the next thing. It's just never content with what we already have, which is also a great point, right? So what I wanted to share is these points, they don't conflict with each other. You can have them calm in mind, living in harmony, but by having the right attitude about the desire, it can really make you both have the actions you want to carry out with good motivation. Also, it will not cause you feeling miserable throughout the way. For example, in meditation, because there's a lot of saying that it sounds like we should not have any desire, and a common question we get asked, what if I want to be happier, right? What if I want to meditate? Or what if I want to achieve sensation or nibbana or whatever you want to call it, which is a very deep, advanced meditation state where you just basically feel very, very peaceful and unbothered with anything. It's just a nice place to be. So that's what I wanted, right? And then people always ask this question because they can get confused. They thought desire a bad thing. There's really no black and white, right or wrong. It just means the degree of desires can be different. It's a spectrum. The two types of desire in Pali words, it's chanda and tanha, which is a great way to talk about it. So chanda means wholesome desire. This stems from intention. I intend to achieve something. I want something. There's really nothing wrong with it. As I mentioned, it gives you fuel and motivation and keeps you going. It's a great thing. Tanha, on the other hand, it's associated with craving, obsession. So you can beat yourself up if you don't achieve that desire, and it can make your life very miserable, which, by the way, you can still achieve your dream through that route. But in my channel, just because my personal choice is I want to be happier and I want the process to be happier, so I'm focusing more on the wholesome desire that you don't beat yourself up. You can achieve your goal, oftentimes even faster, actually. So that is a personal choice. But if you want to really grind and feeling miserable, there's nothing wrong with it. It can also achieve your goal. It's just not my type, let's say. Maybe you can find another channel. For example, in my college, I wanted to apply for a PhD program. So I grew up in China. My college was in China. So I wanted to apply to PhD program in the US where the standards are really high and I have to have very good GPA and all these things. In my first semester, I remember I can't believe I still remember, actually. I was like 40 something in the ranking out of 140 students in my department. And that was not okay to me. So I was like, I really have to have very high score. You know, in that situation, the desire definitely fell under the second type, which is the obsession and the craving. It's like, I have to be number one and I'll do whatever it takes to achieve my dream. It's nothing wrong to do whatever it takes, but the key here is how do you feel about failure. That will give you an idea about whether it's like obsessive craving for this desire or not. Because in my experience and many others, when you're in that mental space, the journey is really miserable. Although you can achieve your dream in the end, but the dreams are endless. Life is just full of every single moment. If you achieve one dream, then another dream, sure, you can achieve them. But if the journey is just miserable, what's the fun in that? Again, it's your choice, but here, because I prioritize happiness and well-being, so I just want to share how to make your life more enjoyable. So let's say that's our goal, to have our life happier and enjoyable. When you cannot take failure as an answer, that usually makes the whole journey very miserable. In this case, for example, I was easily irritable and I was jealous of people who had higher score than me. I didn't want to even go out with friends. I'm just so obsessed with getting my score high, which I did achieve it in the end. So it served its purpose, which shows, like in Star Wars, dark energy can also be powerful. But it was a very low mental health in my life. And also, this is really funny now looking back, but when I look at my journals that I did at that time, one entry that says, this is the worst day of my life. I cannot believe this happened to me, blah, blah. I'm like, wow, so dramatic, what happened? Which I highly recommend keeping a journal, because the more more you see how much of a drama queen you are, it will help you to be more and more chill next time when you are a drama queen, because you see the pattern multiple times. It too shall pass, and it's actually not a big deal. So going back to my journal entry in my college, that was just because I got the score of the TOEFL exam, which is for people who are international students. They need to take that exam to show their English skill is okay. So yeah, that was just the day I got my score, and that's the third time I took that exam, and I was crying so hard and everything. I'm like, this is literally the worst news ever, and my life is ruined, because the third time my score was 91. Again, I don't know why I still remember it, but I thought the bar is 100 for PhD program to apply abroad. So even the third time I still couldn't do it, and it is even worse than the second time I took it, which is 94. Again, I don't know why I still remember it. That is how traumatized I was. It sounds silly, but certain things can feel really, really big in our head, even something that seems that small, right? But anyway, this is a case that shows the obsession type of desire can also make you achieve your dream, but it's just really, really unenjoyable to do, and I don't recommend it. So now let's shift our gear to talk about the positive desire, which is a wholesome desire. That's an intention that you feel, oh, I want something, but you let go of the expectation. It's like you set the course to go to a destination, but you're not obsessing over it to say, oh, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Like every single minute you ask, where am I? Am I there yet? So this is a good thing, such as I want to meditate, even, I want to make money for a certain amount. It doesn't matter what desire you have. It's really the intention behind it that really matters. If you have a wholesome desire, not only the journey feels more happier and effortless, but also by letting go of the outcomes, it usually makes you achieve your goal faster. For some reason, I don't know why. For example, my intention is to sit longer in a meditation. I can just set an intention during the sitting. I don't expect me to sit for 3 hours or 4 hours. I just have that intention to shoot for that time. Before I reach that time, I can check with me to see how I feel about it. I don't force myself to sit for that particular time, but I always think pushing yourself once is usually good. It's my general rule of thumb. See how you react to it. Sometimes after you pushing yourself, you actually overcome a big hurdle. You actually achieve your, 3 hours of sitting. But sometimes if you push yourself once and you feel worse and beating yourself up, that means it's not worth it to push yourself more. And that's fine. You can try it some other time. This also helps with making things more efficient, and really helped me to overcome being a perfectionist. For example, when I apply for a job, and it is so easy to fall into the trap of obsessing over it, but it actually usually it wouldn't make a difference on whether you will be accepted or not. There's like 20% of the improvement may take 80% of the time, and it's not even worth it. So usually I set an intention. I want to have this job, but if I don't hear back or whatever, I'm totally fine with it. And then think about the worst case scenario. What's the worst that can happen? Then I look for another job, right? So this really helps me to be resilient about the quote-unquote failure, which, by the way, I really don't think human mind is a good judge on what is failure and what is not. That's why I say quote-unquote failure, because if you reflect on your life, oftentimes it's those failures that you thought are failures at the time are the most valuable moments, and that lead to a magnificent life later on, but you only see that later on. That's why human mind is very biased as a judge, and we're often often too harsh on ourselves, and it changes over time. And sometimes you start with a wholesome desire, but over time, am I there yet? Am I there yet? Then you became obsessing over it. So it's a very fluid and a dynamic thing, but it's good to know there's two different types and to where you are and find the right balance for you. There's no you have to, and you never know what life brings to you. It's just so beautiful to see how life unfolds, which, by the way, is possible before you achieve your desire. Your desire can even change, and you may not even want it anymore, just dependent on different life situations or someone new you meet or learning about some new opportunities or whatever it is. That's why there's really no point in obsessing over certain things. It has to go my way because your way is only based on your current situation. You think that's the best way for you, but there's just so much beautiful things in this world that you do not know yet, and they're waiting for you. So yeah, you can always make something out of the failure, and it could even be a fun story that you can share later on when you're so successful in some other things that you didn't intend to do, but due to the failure, so you took a different route that unfolds a whole new world for you, right? This is a lifelong learning reflection that we can do, but always have it in the back of your mind. Whatever you desire to do, it's a great thing that you have that desire. So first, congratulations on that, to find the motivation to do things. That's really a great thing. Just to be careful to not fall into the trap of the craving and obsessing over it. All right. So now let's go back to what you did before about your desire. Whatever you chose, let's see where you're at. So some general rule of thumb is for the failure case, and see how you react to that. If you feel, oh, it's the end of the world, I have to achieve it no matter what, there's this obsession. It feels very, very close, like I have to, and it's like a negative feeling because you're afraid of the punishment. I'm afraid of not achieving it, and I would be a total failure. Then that shows you which type of desire that falls under. But if you feel, I will do my best. You remember you also wrote about how you feel about the success case. Thinking about it really makes you happy. You feel more open. That gives you motivation in a very positive way. That really gets you up in the morning. And when you work on that, you are not afraid of, I have to, like meeting the deadline or whatever, but you feel that I really want to, because the excitement that you can already visualize when you see the success case. Then congratulations, that would make the whole process more enjoyable for you. You are more effortless during work. It helps you see things clearly, because when you are in a tunnel vision, which I mentioned this in another video, I'll give a link there. I use a technique I invented called reverse Pomodoro to achieve your goal by doing things efficiently, and that's a really great feeling. So it's not about desires are good or bad. We should not have any desires to achieve happiness. I mean, what's so fun in that? So that was a big misunderstanding I had, and many people had as well, especially in our meditation journey. But after I learned about the two types of desire, it helps me in my life, not just meditation as well. So finding where you are for each desire, which by the way, at one particular time, you probably have multiple different desires, and they can all fall under different part of the spectrum. It's really about tuning it, experiment with it, and see how you feel about it, whether you actually achieve your desire faster and happier or not. You are your best teacher, and I hope you have fun experimenting with it and see it for yourself. Let me know how it goes, and I wish you achieve your wildest dreams in this life. Alright, we'll see you next time. If you find something useful out of the video, I'm so happy for you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hype. It will really help me a lot to create more content like this. See you next time!